Cop murders pregnant woman he preyed on when she was 15. This is devastating and a horror show. Massachusetts federal grand jury indicted former police officer Matthew Farwell for killing Sandra Birchmore, 23-year-old pregnant woman whom he'd been having sex with since she was 15. Farwell, then an officer with the Stoughton Police Department, murdered Birchmore February 1, 2021 at her apartment in an effort to silence pregnant Birchmore from revealing the statutory sexual assault that occurred when she was a minor. Background of the years of abuse. According to the indictment, Birchmore began attending the Stoughton Police Explorers, a program for young people interested in law enforcement, in 2010 when she was 12. Just gets sicker. Farwell became an instructor for the program when he was hired in 2012. Friendly relationship turned illicit by the time she was 15, prosecutors say. He allegedly would sneak off on duty to have sex with her. Long crime with the reporting. I am not part of the case, but I will tell you that something jumps out at me. A friendly relationship turned illicit. I don't believe that. If any of these facts are true, and I believe they are, that's called preying and grooming. It's not friendly. Nothing friendly about it. It's toxic. It's gross. The abuse continued into Birchmore's adulthood. Building off the years of grooming, Farwell later cultivated a controlling and sometimes abusive relationship with Birchmore. He tracked her location with his cell phone, and as voluminous text messages demonstrate, he engaged in sexual violence, prosecutors wrote. By the end of 2020, feds say she told him she wanted to have a child together. The two reached an agreement that he would impregnate her in exchange for her silence about his criminal conduct. But when he got her pregnant in December 2020, he apparently wasn't happy about it. He became physically violent with Birchmore. She told multiple friends that Farwell had pushed and shoved her, grabbed objects from her hands, and put her in a chokehold, the indictment said. Then in January 2021, Farwell reportedly received word that a tipster had told an employee with Stoughton Police about his illicit activities with Birchmore when she was a minor. He also learned Birchmore had told a friend about the statutory sexual assault. The feds say it's rape. He was a child. Let's just make it real clear. He was a baby, a child. Prosecutors allege that on January 24th, Farwell began to take important steps toward killing her, which included requesting and receiving a key to her apartment, plus looking around the home for places to kill her. On February 1, 2021, Farwell decided to act. For him, that day provided at least two advantages. A blizzard was approaching Greater Boston, ensuring that no one would notice Birchmore's absence from work for several days. And Farwell's wife was hours away from delivering their third child. What a trash box. It just keeps getting worse. Farwell allegedly texted Birchmore that he was on his way to her apartment and showed up wearing a face mask to conceal his identity. He then strangled her and staged her apartment to make it appear Birchmore had committed suicide. Prosecutors said he put her in a seated position and put a strap around her neck and doorknob, according to the feds. Canton police officers found her body February 4th while conducting a welfare check after she did not show up for work. Massachusetts State Police investigation and autopsy initially determined she died by hanging and ruled the matter of death as suicide. Subsequent days, he lied to MSP investigators, claimed he started having sex with Birchmore in 2020 when she was an adult, prosecutors said. He also allegedly claimed he hadn't had sex with her in over a year, so it would seem he was not the father of the child. State hired a second medical examiner who found inconsistencies with the suicide conclusion and believes someone had strangled her, according to the indictment. Feds also reportedly uncovered text messages implicating Google searches too. He tried to delete. Stoughton police began an internal investigation into Farwell following the murder, put him on leave. He resigned in April 2022. Why the hell would he be allowed to resign? He already lied. Sure, there's still the murder to uncover, but allowed to resign. Yeah, till the bitter end. In a statement, Stoughton Police Chief Donna McNamara called Birchmore's death a horrific injustice. Feds arrested Farwell Wednesday on a charge of killing a witness or a victim. He faces life in prison if convicted. Jackson, I don't even know where to start. This is evil among us. I don't even
Yeah.
know if I believe that you had to turn this way. Surely evil was dropped down by a stork to do this kind of horror. What say you?
Well, for me, when I see or hear about stories like this in any type of similar capacity to where people are engaged in this type of activity for long periods of time, you can't help but think of all the time that these people had to stop or backtrack or give it up. Like how people just walk themselves into their, ultimate destination, which is paying for their sins, quote unquote, however you want to say it. This guy had been having this relationship with her for since she was 15, she was 23, almost 10 years. He could have all that time he had to stop. You cheating on your wife, you could have cheated on your wife with other women who, weren't minors. Like there's so many other things that he could have done without stooping to this degree. And then more importantly than anything else, it's like, well, to cover up my sin of, having sex with a minor and manipulating her throughout these years, I'm going to take her life because that'll solve it. Like, what's really going on in your thinking patterns for you to take this type of action? And ultimately, he's in trouble. I mean, if he's not in solitary confinement wherever he goes, then, not only is he involved in the murder of a woman who was pregnant with his child, who he started having sex with and she was a minor, but he's also a police officer. So that's not going to bode well for him in any type of general population that he goes to. But at this point, I don't really see how he can escape a life sentence or like what 100+ years or something. Like it's not worth saving this guy.
Mm-mm.
So I think he's going down for sure.
Just so I'm clear, what you're saying is once incarcerated, he will be vulnerable to those who will exert power over him, kind of like
Yeah.
how he ironically was living his life. He didn't stop because he's a predator. He's sick, and everybody else is there for his pleasure and his enjoyment, including the wife, the blizzard, his badge, his gun, and his bare hands. Sicko. We'll keep following the case, but I concur. He's not worth it. He's so not worth it. And the real life sentence is to this young woman whose childhood was stolen and her family.